I took my first road trip the year that my mom passed away. Crystal, I said, you mean I ain't got to ask nobody for shit?
Like, learn to be okay with just you.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it's really hard to be with yourself.
That's it.
And that is definitely something that you're going to have to do if you are solo.
When it came time to do this road trip, I had already had a taste of what it was like to travel by myself.
Yeah.
And I was hooked.
And I love that you've done that where you're like, okay, I tried it. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to try it again. One of the most important things that I learned throughout that time is to not be connected to the outcome.
The best thing about that trip was the road.
Yeah.
Because there was no outcome. There was no real expectation. It was just like divine wandering.
People from the outside looking in would be like, yeah, girl, you are thriving. And honestly, I'm suffering. Suffering from the weight of focusing on safety and security.
So when I'm driving, I pull into this gas station that looks like at least 5 axe murderers are there.
Jesus.
Like, men, go out, go venture, go wander. Women go out, venture, and wonder. And like just dispel some myths about what it is to do a solo trip.
Yeah.
And focus on what you want to look forward to and not just what you're risking or what the fears are, what the concerns are.
You're watching We Ain't Dying for This, a Black woman's guide to liberation. And I'm your host, Crystal Johnson. We are a community of Black women demanding our collective liberation through radically soft living. Each Thursday, we feature the stories of Black women who have set themselves free from the expectations of others and are choosing to live on their own terms.
Welcome to another episode of the We Ain't Dying for This podcast, a community of Black women demanding our collective liberation through radically soft living. I am your host, Crystal Johnson, and today I'm here talking with my sis, Natasha Wade, about road tripping as liberation. And I know that it probably feels a little unconventional in terms of the topic, but trust me, it's all going to come together. Welcome to the show, Natasha.
Hi, friend.
Hey, and we're meeting each other for the first time in person.
In the flesh. How is it?
It's great. It's
Same.
great.
Yeah.
I love the energy.
I love being able to actually like see people that I've been LinkedIning with for a while, like in person, because it's like you look like you, but you don't look like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Well, I love it. I love the hug. I love the energy. And I can't wait to have this conversation because you are a boomerang. You from season 1 and now you in season 2. I wouldn't have had it any other way for sure.
Yes, because I love bothering you.
You are not bothering me. You are not bothering me at all. Like, this is love. And I can't wait to have this conversation because you did something that I think most people are unwilling to do, which is one, go somewhere solo, but also in your car on a road trip across the U.S. in a place where the Green Book exists. So I can't wait to get into this conversation. But before we do that, can you tell the people who you are? And then we'll go through a quick round of this or that.
Absolutely. So my name is Miss Natasha Wade. I'm the CEO and founder of Natasha Wade, your Black Woman Soul Coach, where I help Black women achieve their deepest soul desires in life, love, work, and play. And how I do that is through individual and soon-to-be group coaching services.
Okay. I love a good group coaching cohort.
Yes. I'm having fun just creating it because, like, I'm a fucking genius. I didn't realize how much of a fucking genius I was until I started, like, putting it together. You know, like, it's weird to be able to, like, admire your own work and then learn from your own work at the same time. It's weird. It's very weird.
You're definitely a genius. The first time I did a group coaching program, I thought I wouldn't like it because I'm like, who are all these people and why do I need to tell them my business? I was like, why do they need to know? But it transformed me because being able to learn from other people's stories, the lessons that they've learned that they're now teaching you. For example, in this one that I went into was with Coach Christy Rutherford, and she's the one on LinkedIn that's always talking about like the raises that women have gotten working with her. So she was asking the women on the call, like, what's your number? And like, I had never heard anybody say 600 is my number. And I'm like,
600 per hour, $600,000.
600,000 a year, total comp.
All right.
And I was like, what? Like that sounds absurd.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that conversation and like hearing those women being in that conversation and being so confident, I was like, 425 is my number.
That's what I'm talking about.
And the next time I apply for a job, 425, sis. Got the number.
You just made me realize I'm being cheap.
What do you mean?
I'm definitely being cheap because I thought my number was 200,000 because I did a whole audit of my ideal lifestyle to come up to my ideal hourly rate, whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I have my expenses and I'm still 20,000 over. But whole point is, like, every time I have these conversations, it inspires me to ask the question of, am I truly like leaning into my abundance?
Yeah, you need to ask for more, for sure.
Yeah.
When I tell you I just be making up numbers. I be making up numbers, and they be like, "All right, that sounds
about right." Yeah.
You just got to be confident about it, because if you're confident in yourself and you know like you're worth what you're asking for and even more, they feel that energy, and it's just like, okay.
Well, for me, it's not even about confidence. I think it's about the ethics of it, and I also think it's about just this vision, right? Because we've been having a lot of conversations, I think, obviously recently, about the effects of capitalism and where that leads us and all the different dangers and things that greed, individualism and individual greed sort of gets us to, right? Or rugged individualism, whatever. And I think, to keep myself out of that trap of not going the Jeff Bezos route, but at the same time, like, owning my abundance and owning the riches that are supposed to come to me.
Yeah.
So it's always like sort of like a weird kind of fine line to walk.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this to you.
Oh shit. Okay. Go ahead, girl.
Both things can be true.
Both.
You can get your bag, and you can also be ethical. For sure. Because
right.
Give back all the time. You've invested in me. Like, you invest in Black women all the time. So
I do.
If you make a whole lot of money, like through your salary or your coaching or however it is that you get the bag, give it back. If that's what makes you feel like you're being more ethical about it, you're worth it.
Yeah. You know what? I didn't look at it that way. And thank you. Thank you for saying that, because I received that, and you're absolutely right. The amount of money that I want to invest in Black women, I'm definitely going to need to, like, increase my ass.
Exactly. Them folks got it. They got it.
They sure do. They sure, and they got a whole hell of a lot of it. Let me go hit up Elon, like, right the fuck now.
Elon out here paying people pennies on the dollar. Let me tell you. I be looking at those jobs on LinkedIn at Tesla, and I'm like, you paying an HR business partner doing what? Less than $100,000 a year? That's crazy. That is crazy talk.
Very ridiculous.
Yeah. He not gonna pay you. He not gonna be the one, because he no. He is an evil man, and I don't even waste your energy.
Well, listen, if we're going to talk about evil, we're not going to be able to finish this episode because we get...
I know. You're right. Okay. So, this or that.
This or that. All right. Okay.
Issa Rae or Quinta Brunson?
Quinta.
We love Quinta.
What she's been able to create is just so relatable and so freaking funny.
Yeah. I remember that clip where she was like, he got money.
You know, the funny thing is, I didn't even, like, really see that clip until she, like, really blew up.
Yeah.
I couldn't fully appreciate it in the moment.
But now, when you see it, you're like...
Now when I see it, I'm
Quinta.
Like, yes.
Yeah.
And I'm glad
amazing.
She's a shorty doo-wop like me. So
Yeah, she's so beautiful. So beautiful. What about spades or Uno?
Spades.
Okay.
Spades.
You know,
spades is gutter. You know what I'm saying? It's from the street.
It is. Do you be slamming the cards on the table?
No, but I talk major shit.
Okay.
I talk major shit for somebody who doesn't know how to count books.
Oh. Okay, so you be having everybody confused at the table, like, who got the cards? Who got the hand?
No, they be looking at me like, you have no business talking this much shit, being this average. But that's my superpower. It's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I elaborate. I embellish. It is what it is.
You be bluffing. And then people be scared across the table. That's accurate. Okay. So, what about trail rides? Or electric slide?
That's a hard one. I think I'm gonna do trail rides.
Yeah.
In Texas.
Yeah, that part. Or just even the South in general. I feel like Black people have really been, I don't know if we've been doing trail rides this whole time, but they just became very popular where I've seen them like over the last several months. And I'm just like, I just love Black people. It's the rhythm. It's the swag. It's just the movement. I'm just like, okay.
Well, the funny thing is I've never done one, and now I feel like I need to put that on my bucket list. Or my bucket list, you know what I'm saying?
We should.
Yeah.
We should. I will dance. And I don't normally dance.
So you're going to come back in March for rodeo?
Maybe. Possibly.
Going to come back in March for rodeo. That's what she said.
I'm signing up.
Clocker, contract.
I'm signing up.
All right. Okay.
I'm signing up. All right. So I know we don't have a lot of time together.
Okay. All right.
So let's go ahead and hop into it.
Okay.
So you went on a trip for your birthday.
Yes.
That I thought was wildly impressive.
Okay.
Not only did you drive across the country in your car, you went by yourself. You drove through these spaces that aren't always safe for Black people. And you connected with a lot of the people that you are connected with on LinkedIn in person. So what do you think the lies are that we tell ourselves about solo travel, about going on road trips, about, like meeting people you've never met before?
So to clarify, when you say we, you're talking about Black women, right?
Black women.
Yeah. I think the lies that we tell ourselves are that, number one, that it is so drastically unsafe that it's not worth doing. That the risk is more than the reward.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's number one. But number two, I think it's that we always got to go with somebody. We always got to travel with somebody. Like, in order for it to be a good quality trip, you always got to go with a friend. No, you don't.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't. I remember one of the reasons why I had the courage and I think the desire to even go on this road trip was I took my first road trip the year that my mom passed away for my birthday. And I went to Seattle because a couple of people always kept talking about Seattle. My uncle kept talking about Seattle. One of my best friends at the time talked about Seattle. So
Wait, from Texas? You drove to Seattle from Texas?
Oh, no, I didn't drive.
Oh,
no.
Wait a minute.
I can be a little bit, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
But what happened was my uncle told me, he said, you really got to go see Seattle.
Yeah.
And then my friend at the time said, Seattle is really beautiful. So something kept telling me I need to go to Seattle. And when my mom passed away, I was just searching for something to do that was adventurous. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and go on my first solo trip because this feels like this could be something new and something like refreshing for me. And it was. Yeah. Seattle is a very solo trippy city. Like, it has some exciting things. It has some, like nice restaurants. It has like the original Starbucks and stuff over there. Like, it has funny, it has some like really cool hokey things to do, like Pikes Peak and all this other stuff. And it's a straight walk. You cannot miss, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so easy. It has character, you know what I'm saying? So when I went to Seattle by myself, Crystal, I said, you mean I ain't got to ask nobody for shit? I ain't got to ask them if they want to go to the museum.
Yeah.
I ain't got to ask them what time they want to leave the hotel.
Yeah.
I ain't got to ask them if they're...
Also, I remember that saying from our first episode because that's something you learned from your mom. Like, don't ask nobody for shit.
Yeah. And except in this context, it was so exciting because, like, there are times where I just wanted, like, if you're going on a group trip, there's times where you just want to stay in bed a little bit more.
Yes.
You don't want to be so agendaed. You don't want to be so structured. You don't want to be so overly engineered that you can't enjoy the trip, right? Or let's just be honest, like, there's some fun in being a little bit selfish, right? Like, there are times where I just want to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
And I got a good taste of that when I went to Seattle. So when it came time to do this road trip, I had already had a taste of what it was like to travel by myself.
Yeah.
And I was hooked.
Yeah. So it sounds like that first trip really transformed like your thoughts around solo travel and like being in these different places and just exploring.
Yes.
I would agree with that. So I went on my first solo trip this year as well. So I went on a 16-day solo cruise. It was a transatlantic cruise from Rome to Miami. By day 13, I was ready to go. But it was very transformational. And I would say like one of the most important things that I learned throughout that time is to not be connected to the outcome. And to not take myself too seriously. Yeah. I am a recovering perfectionist, an overachiever. So, you know, on cruises, they always have all these different things that you can do. So I tried like speed puzzles. I did trivia, not going into it knowing I didn't know all the answers. But I'm like, you know, I'm not going to take myself too seriously. I did sushi making. I even painted and did like a ornament painting. And I had so much fun. Like I talked to strangers. And I had a really good time. And what I loved about the cruise as the first solo trip is that I didn't have to plan anything. I just got to pick from a schedule, pick from some options, and just move on with that. So being able to do that, I ended up on another solo trip right after that wasn't supposed to be a solo trip. So when I got back from this cruise and I had been, you know, putting myself out there, not taking things too seriously, I went to Mexico for a few days. And usually I'm not comfortable speaking Spanish. And yeah, I only know a little bit of Spanish, but I'm also still not comfortable because I'm like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Like, what if I say the wrong word? They're going to think I'm stupid. And I felt so comfortable just doing it because I had already been practicing the art of not taking myself too seriously and just doing the thing. And I love that you've done that where you're like, okay, I tried it and I'm going to go back and I'm going to try it again for my birthday. And I'm going to go through all these different states and I'm going to meet all these people. And I know that first time like just helped you to keep going.
Yeah. And I'm so glad you brought up the perfection because I'm also a fellow recovering perfectionist. I think that's also the other myth that we say or that we tell ourselves is that everything has to be planned. Everything has to be engineered. If you're going to take this huge leap, there has to be like this incredible order to it.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved about doing this road trip was because everybody keeps asking me like, what was the best city you went to? And they're all beautiful and they all have their distinct character. But honestly, Crystal, the best thing about that trip was the road.
Yeah.
Because there was no outcome. There was no real expectation. There was like, it was just like divine wandering.
Ooh, I love that. It's beautiful.
It was divine wandering. I took my first road trip the year that my mom passed away. Crystal, I said, you mean I ain't got to ask nobody for shit?
Like, learn to be okay with just you.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it's really hard to be with yourself.
That's it.
And that is definitely something that you're going to have to do if you are solo.
When it came time to do this road trip, I had already had a taste of what it was like to travel by myself.
Yeah.
And I was hooked.
And I love that you've done that where you're like, okay, I tried it. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to try it again. One of the most important things that I learned throughout that time is to not be connected to the outcome.
The best thing about that trip was the road.
Yeah.
Because there was no outcome. There was no real expectation. It was just like divine wandering.
People from the outside looking in would be like, yeah, girl, you are thriving. And honestly, I'm suffering. Suffering from the weight of focusing on safety and security.
So when I'm driving, I pull into this gas station that looks like at least 5 axe murderers are there.
Jesus.
Like, men, go out, go venture, go wander. Women go out, venture, and wonder. And like just dispel some myths about what it is to do a solo trip.
Yeah.
And focus on what you want to look forward to and not just what you're risking or what the fears are, what the concerns are. Me just traveling and meandering and going and like some of the most beautiful sites that I saw. I didn't go to Mississippi, but I passed through Mississippi, and Mississippi has some beautiful landscape. You know what I'm saying? Just the cities I passed through. I had never really been at a truck stop for like an extended period of time, whatever. Yeah. But I stopped by at least 2 or 3. Mm-hmm. At least, I think it was like 3. Because I just wanted to see like how the different truck stops were designed. You know what I'm saying? So like little surprises like that, I got to indulge in.
Yeah, I love that for you. And just the community that you built, like that you strengthened on the trip too, which is really incredible.
I finally got to meet Joaquina Reed.
Yes. I can't wait to meet her in person. Yeah. Joaquina, girl, are you coming to Houston?
Keena is coming to Houston.
I'll come through.
Keena, if you don't come through, we coming to Baton Rouge and we gonna kidnap your ass. We bringing you to Houston. But I'm
ready for these hands, Keena.
She was the first stop. So just for everybody's like reference, I drove to 6 cities within 2 weeks. I drove from Houston to New Orleans, Louisiana. That's where I met Joaquina Reed.
Okay.
I went from New Orleans, Louisiana, to Montgomery, Alabama. I didn't meet anybody there.
Okay.
Montgomery, Alabama, to Atlanta, Georgia. I met a gaggle of Black women there.
Yeah.
Atlanta, Georgia, to Charlotte, North Carolina. I met my bestie over there. Charlotte, North Carolina, to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Almost forgot that one. Was by myself. And then I did Charleston.
Oh, I love Charleston,
South Carolina. And I might be mixing up. No, I didn't mix it up. I absolutely did Charlotte, North Carolina, to Myrtle Beach, and then to Charleston, South Carolina. And Charleston, South Carolina was really like, that wasn't even supposed to be on the trip. Spirit just said go, and I went.
Yeah. That speaks to what you said about it not having to be perfectly planned out. Just do the thing that feels good.
Yeah. And, and that was, one of the intended purposes of this trip was for me to totally absorb Black history. And so one of the things that inspired Charleston was when I went to Montgomery, Alabama, and I went to the Legacy Museums. Charleston, South Carolina was one of the ports that had the largest number of enslaved Africans that passed through. And so I said, I gotta go to Charleston.
Yeah.
I gotta go feel the ancestors over there. I gotta go meet them. And I met them.
I love that for you. I love that for you, that you were able to absorb Black history. You were able to have the road to yourself, like be still. And then you were also able to connect with all of these souls that you've been connected with online.
Well, not even just online.
Beautiful.
So some of these folks were people that I work with through my W-2 job, who will not be named.
Okay.
Some of these folks were people, not just work with, but these are considered like co-friends, right? Like you have people that you work with, but they're really like, they're also friends, right?
I feel that.
There are people that are friends, like they've, maybe we don't work together anymore. Maybe we never work together anymore, but they've always been connected to me in some way. Then Joaquina Reed was LinkedIn. So it was like a mixture of people. It was people that I've worked with, or there are people that are friends, that I may be connected with through jobs or whatever. And then there are people that I met through LinkedIn. And honestly, there are like a lot of people that I deepened my relationship with just being on the road. Yeah. So because they were checking on me, they were like, Tasha, you haven't died yet, right? You haven't gotten murdered yet, right? You're still with us? And I'm like, yeah, I'm still here. Yeah. I mean, and we'll talk about some of the funny, scary, interesting moments when we get there. But yeah, there are a lot of people that were they were watching my back.
Yeah. Well, tell us about the funny, scary moments. We want to know.
Oh, shit. Well, let me tell you. So Joaquina had insisted, and I'm glad she did, but Joaquina insisted that when I was in New Orleans, Louisiana, that I go check out the drumming circle, right? Now, here's where I was very regimented. I meant to leave New Orleans, Louisiana at a certain time because, mind you, I was also working full time pretty much for at least a good part of this trip because I wanted to take advantage of the work from home. I also wanted to, I just didn't want to waste my PTO. I wanted to use some of that PTO to be by myself when I came back and to recover. So anyway, I had
Natasha like naps, y'all.
Goddamn right, I love naps. Exactly. I have a bedtime at 6. Try to stay very, very loyal to it. But anyway, I was supposed to leave New Orleans, Louisiana at a certain time because it was supposed to be like a 5-hour drive or something to Montgomery. So I had to leave there by a certain time to be able to book a hotel. Because remember, I was booking hotels kind of as I was going along, right? Like I wasn't booking hotels beforehand because I knew that if I had gotten held behind or something like that, that it would be a waste of time or a waste of a night or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of booked it as I went along. So I was trying to coordinate as best I can. Anyway, I was supposed to leave New Orleans at a certain time, but Kina was like, Tasha, you cannot leave here unless you go to the drumming circle. She was absolutely right. That drumming circle, that if I would have left New Orleans, Louisiana and just did the drumming circle, it would have been worth it.
Yeah. Tell us about the drumming circle. I don't know what that is.
So there is I can't remember exactly what the place is called, but there's like a traditional kind of like ancestral space where enslaved Africans and please historians, feel free to correct me but it's basically on sacred land, like indigenous people gathered there, enslaved Africans gathered there, and so ancestors are like there. You know what I'm saying? In this like sacred ground. And so people come to this place to gather and drum in a circle. They have like these different drums, African drums. I don't know where, like some people might, take drums from different other type of cultures, whatever, but they all gather together and they drum together and they dance together. And there's an elder that actually does like a libation ceremony to like honor the ancestors. There's prayer. It's just so rich. And so when they started drumming and they started dancing, I found my body just kind of involuntarily moving because it was just, you can feel it. You can feel the energy. It is so rich. There's like statues. There's like, like different kind of monuments around, like honoring the history of the space. It's beautiful. It's beautiful to witness. So I did that from like 3 to something, whatever. And again, because I love my naps, I hadn't had a chance to nap. So, Crystal, I'm struggling. By the time I leave that place to try to do this 5-hour drive to Montgomery, Alabama, I'm struggling. I'm falling asleep. I'm like hopped up on energy drinks. And at some point, so I had to keep pulling over to like just get my body going and wake up. So when I'm driving, I pull into this gas station that looks like at least 5 axe murderers are there.
Jesus.
Like there's no lights. I'm trying to figure out if this place works. You know what I'm saying? And then like the way that you're driving, like there's some roads where you cannot see past a certain point. So I'm like, I don't even know where the fuck I'm going. Yeah. Right? So that was a scary moment because I'm like, let me get the hell up out of here. I don't give a damn. Like, let me find some light. That was one of the funny, scary moments. I think just driving at night, because like, I feel like when you're driving in your 20s, you're a superhero because you see the lines really clearly. Yeah. You see the roads really clearly. There were times where I was driving at night and I was like, I can't see nothing.
You got astigmatism?
I don't know. But what I do know is that I couldn't see nothing. And I had a friend that was like, and so I said, you know what? I'm fixing to check into a hotel because I can't see shit. Because he called me, whatever, to check on me. He was like, you good? And I was like, it's goddamn dark out here. He's like, my ninja, it's 8 o'clock at night. I was like, it looks like it's 3 a.m. Yeah. Get the hell up out of here. So I checked into a hotel, whatever, and everything was fine. But that's where I learned my boundary. That's where I learned my, my parameters, because I recognize that I can't habitually drive at 9-something at night because country roads are different. Yeah, they're not like Houston. They're very different. So I said, I'm going to go to a safe space like around 5 or 6 before it gets really dark.
Yeah. I'm glad you did.
Mm-hmm.
Glad you are here to tell the story.
There you go. Mm-hmm. And then, there's also people that just drive nutty. I think there was a time when I was driving back and somebody had apparently abandoned their car in the middle of a lane. And like, if I wasn't paying attention, I would have just drove
right into it.
Into it.
Yeah. Wow. How do you feel like this experience transformed you?
I think it helped me to learn to slow down. Literally and figuratively. Because the interesting thing was that I just savored everything. I was like a little kid. I wanted to do everything, like just the simple things like, like going to the gas station and hunting for airheads and popcorn and, like childhood snacks and stuff, which, by the way, if you really want to understand the quality of a convenience store or gas station, check to see if they have old school airheads, the bars, not this new school airhead minis or whatever the fuck they doing.
Oh, that's yeah, you do need the bars. You also need Boston baked beans.
Yeah.
I love those. They're delicious. Also, Chico sticks. You don't like Chico sticks? What?
I don't know if you could. I don't know if you could be my road trip partner.
Oh my God!
We gonna have to be on different roads.
Man, I can't even eat popcorn, so I guess I'm really not even.
Chips, but I mean, look, like things like that. But like, there were just times where I just wanted to do everything. Like I was just like, let me go over here. When I went to New Orleans, Louisiana, like Kina told me about another place. There is a Black woman that owns a place that what is that sweet, that dessert that they sell famously in New Orleans? See, I'm already forgetting something. Nope. It's the other one.
Pralines. There
we go. There's she sells these wonderful, delectable pralines. I went ahead and got that. I didn't care how long the line was. Yeah, I just enjoyed wondering and wandering and trying new things on the fly, meeting new people. There were tour guides that I got to meet. Charleston was very interesting, like to go through Charleston and to know that people are haunted by the relics of slavery. Like there were times where the Black tour guide was, guiding us through, and he pointed to something that looked like a bench. He said, "You know what that is?" It's like, "No, what is a bench?" And they're like, "No, it's a slave auction block." I was like, "Oh, man."
Yeah. Wow.
Like in plain sight, you know what I'm saying? And I thought about like what that does to the collective Black psyche over there. Like even if somebody wanted to argue that, no, it's not, blah, blah, blah. Just the idea that we have to constantly think about what are the things that were left behind from that period?
Yeah.
Where were people captured and enslaved and imprisoned? Why do these look like prison bars? I thought about my own city. I thought about these homes that look very Victorian and look like, like slave houses.
Yeah.
So it taught me to slow down. It taught me to just savor life as much as possible. It taught me to be adventurous. That's it.
Yeah, and these are lessons that we need as Black women to be able to really slow down. Because we're always moving a mile a minute. There's always lots of things for us to do, when really what we need to do is really slow down and really rest, think of ourselves. What is it that we want? Who do we want to be? Like those questions are so important. And I've been spending like the last few months really indulging myself in that. It's been transformational.
Oh yeah? What did you come up with?
What I came up with is like, where do I want to be where do I want to go from here? What are the things I want to focus on? And like, where do I want to be eventually? And there are some conversations that you and I have had that I won't share here. But yeah, I just feel like I'm on a path of putting myself first, truly, consistently, because I think that there are times where I put myself first, but then also like tried to support other people and be like, okay, well, this time I can put you first. But I'm like, nah, like this is my time for me to do the things that I want to do, for me to be who I want to be, and for me to truly live my life.
That's it.
And I don't think that I've been living to date. I've been existing, thriving. Yes, you know, in the historical sense, people from the outside looking in would be like, "Yeah, girl, you are thriving." And honestly, I'm suffering, suffering from the weight of focusing on safety and security. And those things have been so important. Like they've played a huge role in my life up until this point, but they don't. My fear around not having safety and security doesn't serve me anymore. So I have to make some radical, or I have made some radical decisions, but I have to actually execute on those radical decisions that I've made.
Yeah, I think you said so many bars. I think a couple that even resonate with me as I think about safety and security, and even like, what does all that mean when we say safety and security? Because you're never really safe and you're never really secure. I think that I think we've built sort of a faux security.
Yep.
We have a false sense of security. I mean, there's no real way to understand how life is going to hit you with illness or with unemployment or any number of life's like curveballs can hit at any moment. And I think this paycheck gives us some sort of false sense of everything, it will always be all right.
Yeah.
But that's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel really proud too. And I really, like I said, I felt like I came back transformed, a whole nother person. Like there are some projects that I've worked on before I went on those solo trips, and I've watched the videos and I'm like, girl, you are a totally different person today than you were then. And I'm like, okay, now it's time for me to pop out and show, in the words of Kendrick Lamar.
As you should.
Yes, absolutely. So the last question I want to ask you, well, I have two more questions.
Okay.
One will be really quick. But
right.
The first one is, what homework would you give to the Black woman who's listening, who's thinking about going somewhere solo, doing something alone? What advice would you give her? Or what homework would you give? Well, yes, go. But how does she get started? What should be the first thing she does?
I think the first thing that makes sense is addressing why she wants to go. Addressing what is she looking forward to, right? What's stopping her from going?
Yes.
Because I think a lot of times we're in our heads about, and we're making up reasons why we should or should not go. You know, like even married women, I was thinking about this because a couple, like unexpectedly, this question came up of, you know, like, Tasha, do you think that if you were married, do you think that you would have done this road trip, or like what type of conversation do you think you would have had with your husband? I'm like, I pray to God that I marry a man that knows that I need to, number one, be away from him for a little bit. But that it's okay for me to like go away for a bit and have my own adventures. And while we're on this sort of collective journey, I can still have a piece of me. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I say all that to say that, you know, it also came up again in another conversation with a friend of mine. And she was like, you know, I would like to do something like that. I think I'm going to talk about it with my husband. And so just like rethinking who even a solo trip is for. It's not just for single unattached women or people. You know what I'm saying? Like, men, go out, go venture, go wander. Women, go out, venture, and wonder. And like just dispel some myths about what it is to do a solo trip. Yeah. And focus on what you want to look forward to, and not just what you're risking or what the fears are, what the concerns are.
Yeah, totally. And I would also recommend as homework, like, learn to be okay with just you. Because sometimes it's really hard to be with yourself.
That's it.
And that is definitely something that you're going to have to do if you are solo. You're going to have to be with yourself.
Well, so then here's the bonus. I would say try taking yourself on a date.
Mm-hmm. A solo date.
A solo date. There's struggle with just going to dinner by themselves. Mm-hmm. So do that first so you can sit with yourself, admire your own personality and your own company, and then, let that be a prequel to your solo trip.
Yeah, I love that so much. So where can people find you online?
They can find me on LinkedIn. I know you're going to drop the link, and you can find me at natashawade.com.
Okay. Well, I have really enjoyed this conversation. Me too. You have inspired me to do more solo stuff and also share more about my experiences being solo, because those are topics that people want to learn about. They are inspired by, and hopefully it will get them to do something different, just like your married friend who is now exploring that with her husband. So thank you for sharing your story. And thank you to everyone who is listening in to this episode, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of We Ain't Dying for This, a Black woman's guide to liberation. Catch up on previous episodes on the Living Corporate Network and on YouTube. You're also invited to join our exclusive community for access to early episode releases, exclusive content, live events, and more.